Welcome back from that short break. In case you're just joining us, this is the News International edition, and we are broadcasting to you live from our Vision Group headquarters here in Kampala, Uganda. Now, Mexican security forces have captured the son of jailed drug kingpin Joaquin El Chapo Guzman, scoring a high-profile win in the fight against powerful cartels days before the U.S. President Joe Biden visits. Ovidio Guzman, nicknamed El Raton, the Mouse, was caught in the northwestern city of Culiacán and flown to the Mexican city on a military plane, Defense Minister Luis Sandoval has confirmed.
The United States had offered a reward of up to $5 million for information leading to Ovidio Guzman's capture, accusing him of being a key player in the infamous Sinaloa cartel. In the early hours of January 5th this year, Mexican Army and the National Guard personnel, in coordination with the National Intelligence Center, the Attorney General's Office, and the Sinaloa Public Security Secretariat, arrested Ovidio, the alleged leader of the Los Menores faction of the Pacific Cartel. Gunfire and arson shook Culiacán after the arrest, which comes as Mexican President Andrés Manuel López Obrador prepares to welcome President Joe Biden next week for a North America Leaders Summit in Mexico City, where security is expected to be high on the agenda. The arrest is a result of 6 months of intelligence work tracking down the 32-year-old who has allegedly helped to run his father's operation since El Chapo was extradited to the United States in 2017. A National Guardsman was killed and at least 28 people were wounded in the violence, while school classes were suspended and sporting events in Culiacán were cancelled. As Guzman's henchmen reacted with fury, a passenger jet and an Air Force plane were both hit by gunfire at the Culiacán airport. Cartel gunmen set autos and trucks ablaze at several intersections in the city, and authorities reported 19 roadblocks.
Momentos después,
shortly after the arrest, members of his criminal group carried out 19 blockades and armed attacks in different parts of the city of Culiacán, including Culiacán Federal International Airport and Military Air Base number 10.
de Culiacán y la base aérea militar número 10.
El Chapo is serving a life sentence in the United States for tracking hundreds of tons of drugs into the U.S. over the course of 25 years. However, his cartel remains one of the most powerful in Mexico, accused by Washington of exploiting an opioid epidemic by flooding communities with fentanyl, a synthetic drug about 50 times more potent than heroin. Ovidio Guzman and one of his brothers are accused of overseeing nearly a dozen methamphetamine labs in Sinaloa, as well as conspiring to distribute cocaine and marijuana. He also allegedly ordered the murders of informants, a drug trafficker, and a Mexican singer who refused to perform at his wedding. Ovidio Guzman was captured briefly once before in 2019, but security forces freed him after his cartel waged an all-out war in response. President López Obrador has struggled to curb the brutal violence plaguing Mexico since taking office in 2018. He championed a hugs, not bullets strategy to tackle violence crime at its roots by fighting poverty and inequality with social programs rather than with the army. The left-wing populist has asked the United States to invest in regional economic development instead of sending helicopter gunships and other weapons to take on drug traffickers. Mexico has registered more than 340,000 murders since the government controversially deployed the army to fight drug cartels in 2006, most of them blamed on criminal gangs.
Now, more than a dozen countries have slapped fresh travel regulations on travelers from China as the world's most populous nation faces a surge in COVID cases following its decision to relax strict virus restrictions. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Mao Ning says on Friday that European Union should listen to a rational voice and treat China's COVID situation fairly after some EU officials urged all members to test travelers coming from China.
The European Centre for Disease Control and Prevention and other professional institutions have said that it is unreasonable to impose restrictions on passengers from China. The EU should listen to these rational voices and treat the epidemic situation in China objectively and fairly. China has repeatedly stressed that the epidemic prevention measures of various countries should be scientific and appropriate, should not affect the normal personnel exchanges and cooperation between countries, should not discriminate, and should not take the opportunity to engage in political manipulation. In view of the unreasonable practices introduced by some countries, China will take corresponding measures based on the principle of reciprocity, the epidemic situation as well as the need for epidemic control. The overall supply of vaccines and medical materials in China is adequate and the epidemic situation in China is controllable. Presently, China has 13 types of vaccines that have been approved to be listed with conditions or approved for emergency use, which can meet the needs. The World Health Organization also recently said that the vaccination rate in China is very high, and no matter it is inactivated vaccine, viral vector vaccine, or the mRNA vaccine, the protection against severe diseases and death is equal. We are willing to continue to strengthen communication and cooperation with the international community, including the United States, to better address the challenges of the epidemic and better protect people's lives and health.
Prince Harry's autobiography Spare is not due out until next week, but it is dominating headlines on Thursday after a Spanish language version of the memoir mistakenly went on sale. The book was hurriedly withdrawn from shelves in Spain, but not before copies were obtained by media outlets who pored over its contents and its implications for Britain's most famous family. They include how Harry was allegedly physically attacked by his older brother, Prince William, in a blazing 2019 row about his wife, Meghan. Revelations include how he was told of the death of his mother, Princess Diana, in a car crash in 1997, and how he received a message from her from beyond the grave via a woman with powers. Harry also touches on his strained relationship with his father, King Charles III, and how he and William pleaded with him not to marry his long-term mistress, Camilla Parker Bowles. There are disclosures about his use of cocaine as a teenager. The recollections feature an acknowledgement that he killed 25 people while serving as an Apache attack helicopter pilot in Afghanistan. The candid revelation could heighten fears about his safety after he already flagged concerns about the withdrawal of his state-funded security following his move to the United States with Meghan in 2020. But the immediate focus was on the escalation of his bitter feud with heir to the throne William and whether the damage to their relationship and with his wider family could ever be repaired. London residents react to the claims leaked from Prince Harry's forthcoming book that he was physically attacked by his older brother, Prince William, during an argument over the former's wife, Meghan. In the latest salvo in the brothers' bitter feud, Harry says the alleged incident came after the heir to the British throne called Meghan difficult, rude, and abrasive.
Surprise me, that's what families do, especially brothers. I've got 2 brothers, so I know what they do, what they get up to. I think with royalty you expect everybody to be very, bowing and curtsying to each other and not leading real lives.
Literally just read this on the news this morning actually. I was just thinking again, if that actually happened, why are you waiting to do an expose and a whole book about it? Do you not feel like you would have said something sooner? Or I don't know, it's not these things are private even. I just find it really weird that they're airing all the dirty laundry for everyone to see.
Oh my God.
To be honest, the only reason that they're still making money from having gone to America is because of this documentary. They've got no other source of income. They're not protected by, the monarchy anymore being over there. So I think it's probably a little bit taken out of control. But I don't know if you have brothers and sisters, but you kind of pick fights with them all the time. You're not aggressive. You don't mean it, but maybe it's kind of on that level and it's just been taken out of context.
I think the monarchy is stronger than a book from Meghan and Harry. I believe that this will just blow over like everything else.
Being a family, brothers, so they need to look after each other, and the family is family. And I say, we don't know what is going on inside of them, but I wish all the best from all the royal family, even for Harry and Meghan as well.
And that brings us to the end of the News International edition. From me and the team behind the scenes, thank you for watching and have a splendid weekend.